Hearing someone say, "I don't know who I am," is not an uncommon thing today, although in centuries past, it would have been very unusual. So how do we end up here? Why are we so hard on ourselves? Why is our self-talk often so ugly, so mean? Why do we talk to ourselves in a way that we would never talk to another person? Why are we so ensnared by insecurity, comparison, and shame? I want to propose that we received an unreflected, messed up belief system about who we are without being given the tools to think about cultural influences that we did not fully consent to. We have been influenced subtly. We picked up our understanding of the self when it didn't seem bad at all. You see, we don't just have fashion runways in the world, we have philosophical runways. This is where we find belief systems, the way that we look at the world, the way we answer life's big questions. And if we could just see the belief systems that we buy into spelled out in plain writing on the philosophical runway, most of us would be repulsed. We'd reject it outright. Why? Because we could see not just what they are proposing in their purest form, we'd see where it all ends up, what the result is of those beliefs. We wouldn't like the destination, so we would at least consider moving off of that runway to nowhere. But we don't see it. We don't see where our identity beliefs are coming from. We don't realize that how we answer the big questions of life have everything to do with how we define our worth. It has everything to do with whether we are ever going to be able to truly flourish. What if there is another way to find identity without all the performing, without so much time spent lost and looking for a dream that the world tells you you must have somewhere inside? There is a way to know who you are without the pressure of your whole life's purpose and worth resting on your own shoulders, which is too heavy. I'm inviting you to put that weight down just for a minute and consider how this new way might let you abandon that weight forever. In his teaching on identity, Tim Keller noted that an identity is made up of two elements: a sense of self, a core that must be durable, as in unchanging and unaffected by any outside force, and then a sense of worth, a durable and unchanging way to evaluate our significance. So where can we find this sense of self and the sense of worth, both that can survive the ever-changing nature of being human? This is where we find our way back to this idea of transcendence. Looking for identities inside of us has left many of us afraid, ashamed, lost, and alone. So let's try looking outside ourselves. This is a very specific kind of transcendence I'm talking about, a transcendence that is actually an encounter with love, not just in an ethereal way, but in a very personalized way. Remember the quote from St. John Paul II? "Man cannot live without love. He remains a being that is incomprehensible for himself. His life is senseless if love is not revealed to him, if he does not encounter love, if he does not experience it and make it his own, if he does not participate intimately in it." That's what an encounter with transcendence can do. It can be an encounter with this self-revealing love. And this encounter is the way in which we discover who we are. This encounter with love names and blesses us. It names and blesses us from the outside. And this is a vast improvement over what we have already tried. We've already tried naming and blessing ourselves, haven't we? We try to name and bless ourselves through our roles or our abilities. We might say, "I'm an athlete," named, and "I'm a talented athlete," blessed. An identity based on that self-assessment will not prove to be robust. Because who am I if I'm not an athlete? Who am I if I can't be blessed as an excellent athlete? Or say I name myself as strong and resilient. I bless myself when I see myself overcome obstacles and pain that take other people down. But then who am I when crisis hits and I'm unable to cope? What happens to our ability to name and bless ourselves when we so often disappoint ourselves and fail to meet our own expectations? We long for the love, recognition, approval, and esteem of someone outside of ourselves. But in order for us to feel secure in what is said, this person must offer us perfect and unchanging recognition, perfect and unchanging love. This person must never change his or her opinion of us, must say continuously and regardless of our performance, you are significant, you matter, you are here for a purpose. But who can offer this to me so perfectly and so consistently that I can utterly rely on it? Because if I can't count on this approval never changing or lessening in intensity, then underneath it all, I'm going to be insecure. But even as I recognize that there isn't a person alive who can perfectly affirm me and keep my identity steady, I will always have the potential of deeply disappointing people, and people will always have the potential of deeply disappointing me. I still want this to be possible. I don't want the pressure of having to figure all of this out for myself and then continuously do the work of telling myself that I am good and I am valued and I'm significant. I don't want the job of maintaining my own sense of worth. The world tells me it's all up to me and delivers that message as if it's good news, but that doesn't feel like good news to me. How about you? Are you tired, like bone deep with the idea that it is a gift that you have to figure all of this out for yourself? Don't you have a sense deep down that this cannot be true, that there must be something firm, something unchanging, something that exists as true apart from you and your opinions? Can you make a little room for a little hope that there is someone transcendent who could name you, who could bless you, who could say, you are here for a purpose and you are good? Who are we looking for when we reach out and hope for this naming and blessing? I propose that we are looking for God. There may be so many reasons to resist this truth. There may be real pain, real suffering here. But perhaps this is the obvious answer to questions we all have, not just what the real thing is, but who the real thing is. And maybe right now, hearing me mention this God thing causes voices in your head to say that it is childish, silly, embarrassing, or maybe even downright dangerous. You're going to feel tempted to stop here, to dismiss this possibility as ridiculous or already tried and found wanting, and you're going to be tempted to continue to search for happiness elsewhere. But haven't we already tried that? Isn't that why we're here? I'm asking you to just keep going, not to consent, not to take these beliefs on as your own yet, just to keep going, to see this option through to the end, because maybe there is a small whispering part of you that longs for this to be true. Honor that part of yourself by simply giving this way a chance. Leave no stone unturned in your search for happiness. Let's go together. Let's tread lightly but boldly into this life of adventure, purpose, and joy that I believe God is calling you to.